Hello, this is Mr. Bacon Bits, and welcome back to Tiny Bunny. Are you noticing that more creatures are popping up in this title screen? Well, let's talk to that fox creature again. I did my best to continue the conversation with the weird girl I didn't know.
Так ты в школу идешь?
Ах, ну какой же дурачок! Так ничего и не понял?
Well, I was trying to be friendly, but she can't stop mocking me. Calling me a dummy and all. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog.
А ты чего обзываешься? Не хочешь отвечать, и пожалуйста. Никто не требует.
Still, something froze me in place, tugged me toward the dark figure. A mysterious appearance, her voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fires burn.
Ой, да не дуйся! Гляди-ка лучше.
Look where?
Ты нравишься Жульке.
Is that the dog? The dog was digging through snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of a nearby house, at its timbered front through the white mist. The tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamp's light.
И не только ей.
I went red again, like a boiled crayfish this time. Is she talking about herself, or someone else? I hoped that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking.
А кому еще я нравлюсь?
I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see in those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding my object in her jaws. A mitten. Could it be the one I found in the forest? What is it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized that it was just my mitten. Maybe Mom stuffed it in there when I was asleep? A certain missing boy immediately came to mind.
Эй, ты знаешь что-нибудь про Вову?
I imagined the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. Oh yeah, that creepy scene. The dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy who, when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remembered my birthday, when our parents promised to take me and Olya to Disneyland in Paris. But instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. Don't blame yourself for that. If only I could fix everything, gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland.
В ночь, когда пропал Вова, я, кажется, видел, как кто-то похожий на тебя плясал под моим окном.
It couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out.
А что, ты тогда испугался? За себя или кого-то еще?
That's kinda sinister. Oh yeah. As soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened, and cold sweat streamed down my spine.
Ну так слушай меня внимательно, мальчик по имени Антон. Это большой и страшный лес.
The fox girl stepped forward menacingly.
И я не единственный его обитатель. Другие звери уже знают о тебе. Берегись нас. Этой ночью мы опять придем.
Oh God. I shouldn't have talked to this evil in child form, I thought, panicking.
Пока ты со своей семьей будешь спать, подкрадемся близко-близко. И Макарену!
Чё?
Эй, Макарена!
Really? The hell is with this thing?
У тебя прямо челюсть отвисла, Антоша! Видел он меня ночью у своего окна? Ага, как же! А ты случаем не местный дурачок, нет? Меня не отпускают гулять так поздно. Здесь, знаешь ли, дети пропадают.
I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death.
Ой, да не тереби ты окуляры свои. Я раньше тоже близорукой была. Лучше послушай меня. Может быть, ума наберешься.
I don't know how I can take this, like, mood whiplash. Like, first it gets scary, and then it's like, oh, I'm actually joking. What if one time she's not actually joking?
Лисичку как обычно называют?
Плутовка?
My words seemed to hurt her.
Ох ты ж! Да
Ой, прости.
Her laughter was akin to the jingle of a pair of silver bells.
да шучу я! Конечно, плутовкой. Если ты ловкий и смелый, не боишься с плутовкой водиться, я, так и быть, помогу разыскать этого Вову. Ты же неспроста его ищешь, да?
Yeah. I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming.
Знаю, почему дети повадились соваться в наш лес.
Oh, really?
Порой там можно найти много всякого интересного.
Maybe.
Я вот однажды нашла целый сугроб конфет и купалась в нем. Да так, что челюсть слиплась.
No fooling. A pile of candy. I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile, a fake one this time.
Посмотрите-ка, какой недоверчивый. Ну-ну, а что ты на это скажешь?
She held out her hand in a furry mitten. Candy! Turbo, right there. There was an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or in kiosks. Do I really need to look at that? Yeah, I know what kiosks are. I saw my favorite bubblegum in a vivid wrapper among the tasty treasure. Turbo? That must be why it's, like, so highlighted amongst all the others. A familiar name was on it. Turbo. A triangular fox face poked her nose towards me.
Угощайся.
Don't take candy from strangers?
У меня их полные карманы.
I'm gonna... yeah.
Нет, спасибо, я...
I didn't want to offend the first person I've made contact with in this new place, but I also didn't want to take gum off the hands of some weird girl. Don't take candy from strangers. What if she found it in a snow pile? Or what if it's a prank candy, the kind that blows up in your face when you unwrap it? Well, not that kind of prank candy, but
У меня на сладкое аллергия.
that's a good excuse.
Что?
She sounded puzzled.
Ты чего, живешь в мире таблеток и микстур?
Ну, в целом, да.
The fox whistled. Her palm was empty now. It floated in the air, catching snowflakes now that all the candy had suddenly disappeared. You see, that's why I didn't want to take the candy, because it's not actually there.
И Новый год у вас правда раз в 12 месяцев?
Yes.
Есть эти...
She clicked her fingers, trying to remember something.
понедельники скуки?
Yeah?
Ага.
I smiled.
О, как все запущено. Вам бы, юноша, кило шоколада съесть против скуки и уныния.
Who are you? Yuck. Achievement? Why is it the picture of a turd? I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, or she'll just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind her mask. You probably don't really want to know. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't just a simple young girl.
Может, Вова тоже нашел сугроб сладостей и теперь кувыркается в нем?
No.
Слушай, вдруг он решил остаться в лесу?
I mean, that's why we gotta find him, right?
Тогда, наверное, ему очень холодно в одной варежке.
The wind caught her words like smoke from a fire and carried them deep into the darkness, into the creepy thicket. The trees behind me creaked with their bony branches.
Или с ним что-то случилось в пути.
Like what?
Что-то страшное.
Like what terrible? The forest reacted to her words, became alive. It sniffed me out, perking up its ears, just like a curious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again.
Дикие звери?
Это, по-твоему, страшно?
Ну, не знаю.
Не знает. Уж не с двоечником ли я подружилась?
I didn't like being called a dunce, yet being friends with her sounded nice.
Я хорошист.
Бел да пушист. Пойдешь со мной, хорошист Антон? Найдем твоего Вову и сам его спросишь, что он нашел в этой пуще. Ведь пока мы вместе, никто тебя в лесу не тронет. Вот увидишь.
Worms of worry writhed in my belly. Better run, whispered my mind.
Я тебе не верю.
Ты думаешь, я врунья? Да и пожалуйста, мне никогда никто не верит.
Nice typo there. I don't mean to nitpick. I'm sorry. This is extremely good. I've been loving every moment of this, even from the prologue. Anyway, the girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. I remembered my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me.
Не обижайся, пожалуйста. Лисы бывают и добрыми. Ну, как в сказках. Мне бы только понять, что ты за лиса.
I just noticed your eyes are now completely black. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands.
Тогда пойдем со мной в лес, и ты все обо мне узнаешь. Но не сейчас, а когда рассветет. А то тебя, бедного, всего аж потрясет.
Okay, now your eyes are there.
Того и гляди, кондрашка хватит. Айда, провожу тебя до школы.
After hearing this, the dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in, trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from me.
Ну, если тебе по пути...
We went toward the school and the lost dawn. Here and there, the lights come on in the windows of houses we passed, as if their inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind the curtains. Dogs let out occasional barks. Spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys. TVs bustled and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber, while carefully treading the snowy wheel trails. I walked in the left one and she took the right one. The dog was following right behind us. I expected the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to the school, as if playing with me some game only she was privy to. She would only giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from the snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence.
Так как тебя зовут?
Ну конечно. Имена. Людям непременно надо вешать ярлыки на все подряд. Ну и как бы ты назвал такую лису, как я?
Даже не знаю. Но я читал про лису по имени Алиса.
А что? Я не против. Пусть будет Алиса.
I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer. From the dog, from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. The school's outline was already in our sight. A giant brick box stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams, childish laughter, and someone's whistling tore up the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved, and the place looked cozy at that time. Empty corridors that smelled of polish, puffy snow outside. The second time I came alone to get the books and just kept on imagining my peers, rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running to the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance, in track pants and wool caps, perched on their foreheads. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes for a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and the teeth yellow from nicotine, their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion.
После уроков жду тебя на заднем дворе. Возле повешенного.
Возле кого?
Near what? She just ignored my question.
Не опаздывай.
The hanged man? I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between the two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply.
Я после школы сразу домой.
Эх, Антоша, это я тебя так просто отпустила. Другие же незаметно подкрадутся со своими улыбочками и вцепятся. Клещами не оторвешь. Попомни мои слова.
The fox opened her mouth in a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this?
Антоха!
Someone running in the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. Oh! A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. It whimpered and ran toward the spring. The darkness devoured it. The fox girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved into frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? After taking a deep breath, I went toward the school, toward the cutlets and dough, toward the light raining down onto the snow. Entering the school, I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space, like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. Vulva. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it, glued to the left of the notice board.
Видишь его? Я же говорила.
Vova Matyukin, that was his name. A fourth grader. On that grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul, as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window, took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme.
Для медведя, для лисы, зайчик кушать принеси.
I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor, with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep since she was carrying an attendance register book.
Екатерина, возьми, пожалуйста.
The teacher opened the classroom door, and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall, red-headed fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the insides of a pomegranate. That's rude! A bad feeling risen up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl who was a smaller copy of the teacher warned the boy with a wave of her hand, and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him.
Топай резче, мудила!
The boy flew head first, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away. Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagined myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, then took a couple of deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed.
Я новенький. Мне вот сказали к вам подойти.
The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages.
А фамилия-то как?
Петров.
Громче говори. Чего мямлишь?
Петров.
Нет такого.
She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast.
Ты не ошибся? Нет такого в списке.
My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fists so hard my knuckles became white.
Мне сказали, 204 кабинет, Лилия Павловна, 6 В.
Apparently everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke, because they were all laughing.
Что за бардак?
The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion.
Понаберут студентов. Только знают, что губяки свои малевать. А я разгребай, значит. А бумаги-то кто заполнять будет? Не первый раз ведь уже. Подожди здесь. Сейчас. Сейчас я им устрою.
The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind in my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy, is he one of us or an outsider? Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom.
Доску вытри!
It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here.
Эй, очкарик! Ты чё, не только слепой, но еще и глухой? Доску вытри, говорю!
My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be.
Ну что мне с тобой делать-то? Куда сажать, а? Давай-ка сядь, наверное, с Семеном. Он все равно один.
Еще чего?
The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly and smirked.
Ты опять за старое? Снова бабушку в школу вызывать?
The classroom went silent.
А чё она мне сделает?
Не она, так я тебе сделаю. Рюкзак убрал быстро.
Semyon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow, to save myself.
Я...
I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me.
Я могу за последнюю парту сесть. Там, кажется, свободно.
The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Semyon, then back at me.
Ладно, садись пока туда. А с тобой, Бабурин, мы еще поговорим. Чтобы подошел после уроков. Будешь по классу дежурить, ясно?
Semyon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back of the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats and the class was ready to start.
Вот и хорошо. Начнем урок. Тема: традиции русской и мировой литературы в рассказе Зощенко «Не надо врать».
The fatso turned back to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. "I've got my eyes on you," said his watery look. After just a couple of periods, I had already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, this Semyon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. A dessert drink. Okay. At least it's not the, cum-pot that I was thinking of.
Hey, stop! Why?
And then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet, so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Semyon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment.
Прости, ты в порядке?
Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips.
Нет, ну вы посмотрите на него. Облапал меня прямо у всех на глазах.
Oh no.
Я сейчас все маме расскажу. Тебя из школы выгонят, извращенец.
There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put a lit-up match to the chafer beetle.
Я нечаянно, меня толкнули.
Все видели, слепых среди нас нет.
She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Simeon's laughter cooled my head.
Толкнули? Чё, правда?
He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground.
Вот так, да? И чё ты сделаешь?
The bully towered over me, as if saying, "Come on, hit me! Let me see you try!" I really don't like this kid. But I don't know if fighting back with a bully is the best option. Tell you what, I will figure that out on the next by the next episode. So, yeah. This has been Mr. Bacon Bits with Tiny Bunny. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. And, we'll see whether I want to kick this bully's ass or just endure the bullying. See you guys then.